Today I wanted to do a video on the Ranger. We're officially at 2,500 miles, a little over, as you can see. Also had it for about 5 months now. And I thought this would be a good spot to do a video on 5 things I like about this truck and 5 things I dislike about this truck. And we are going to go ahead and get right into it with the 5 things I like. Number 1 is the redesign. This was such a good refresh for the Ford Ranger. This is just my opinion, but last gen Ford Ranger, ugly as homemade sin. I could not stand the look of that truck with that ugly bubble front end. Man, that's ugly. And hey, there was a lot of people that liked it because it lasted for a while. Nothing against you, just not my style. But man, these C-clamp lights, so clean. And I like that it looks like the F-150 front end. Looks like the little brother to this truck, and that's how it should be. And of course, we can't forget the refreshed interior, which is miles ahead of last gen's Ranger. They really did a good job on this new look, inside and out. Number 2 is going to be the engine. And this is going to be a controversial opinion because not a lot of people like turboed V6s or turboed 4-cylinders. And I'll admit, I used to be one of those guys. Now, I had never really seen the engine. And I've had it for 5 months, never had this hood popped. But all that changed when I got to experience a 3.5 liter EcoBoost. I actually get to drive it all the time because that's what I work out of now. And I've put a lot of miles on that truck while pulling a trailer 90% of its life. There's absolutely no engine issues. Oh yeah, there's an engine. There's an engine there. And it's definitely the 2.3 liter. First thing I noticed is there's a lot of room in here, which of course, that's what you get with a 2.3 liter. So the first 5-month impression of this engine in this truck is awesome. I mean, this is a peppy little truck to have a 2.3 liter. And of course, it's turboed, yes, but the way they have this transmission working with this engine is, I think that right there is what makes it so quick and peppy. When I was researching this truck before I bought it, I was watching the Fast Lane Truck channel. They had all the new mid-sizes going up against each other and all kinds of different challenges. The new Ford Ranger beat all of them in the 0 to 60, which was really interesting because the Ford Ranger in that video was a 2.3, had the smallest engine of all the mid-sizes, which I believe just shows that Ford did a really good job on all the tuning and stuff like that to make all this run as good as it did. And as far as reliability, well, I have a hot take on vehicle reliability. I have never had an unreliable vehicle in my life that I took care of. But I have had vehicles with very well-known engines, very popular engines that were really unreliable to me because I didn't take care of them. No routine maintenance, no oil changes when they need oil changes, no fluid changes when they need fluid changes. And I was really rough on them, drove them like race cars. One truck to name was my 2002 F-250 with a 7.3. Very renowned engine, known to be a really reliable diesel engine. I went through 3 engines in that truck, all of them under 200,000 miles and one of them under 100,000 miles. No routine maintenance. And I was also in high school, so that's really all you need to know there. One thing that usually is a flip of a coin, if you're going to have issues or not, is all these electronics they've been slapping on these new vehicles. So I have really been enjoying the drive quality of this truck, how quick and snappy it has been on the throttle, especially coming from the old school Ranger with the 3.0 in it. And it's like sitting in a Corvette compared to that. Next up on my list of likes is going to be payload and towing capacity numbers. They are extremely impressive, especially payload capacity, which is sitting at a fat 1,545 pounds. Crazy to hear that number because this is not a standard truck. It's pretty well loaded. Just to really compare it to show how big that number actually is, I'm going to show you the payload of a full-size F-150. Now, this is from 2012, 1,479 pounds. Ranger has 66 more pounds than this full-size truck. Towing capacity, still impressive, but not like anything absolutely crazy in the mid-size section. Sitting at 7,500 pounds. There is a couple other trucks that pull more. There's a Jeep Gladiator, which I have a real hard time calling that a mid-size truck. That bed, if you've seen it in person, really shallow and really small. Then the Chevy and the GMC, they pull more than the Ranger. But I'm really happy with the towing capacity, and I'm extremely happy with the payload. Number 4, we're going to keep short and sweet, and that is back seat room. Get those hats out of the way real quick. But sitting inside here, I'm 6 foot. The seat is sit where I'm comfortable. I can put a hand in between my knees and the back of the seat. You always got a little cavity here. You get a little bit more out of it, a couple inches. I'm pretty sure the Ford Ranger don't have the most room in the back out of the other mid-sizes. If I'm not mistaken, it's going to be the Honda Ridgeline. I think that has a pretty spacious back seat. But this right here, I mean, it's really good. I can't complain. It's actually first time I've really been back here, and it's pretty comfortable. This is another one I'm going to keep short, and that is ride comfort. Me and my fiance agree that this is probably one of the best riding vehicles we've ever had. That being said, we haven't never had like Cadillacs or anything like that. No luxury vehicles. The company I work for actually has 2023 Ford F-150s, they're XLTs. I would say that the Ranger rides just like the F-150. Of course, there's just a little less room in the Ford Ranger. So moving on to the dislikes. What better way to do that than in 15-degree bone-chilling weather? It's actually been snowing a little bit the past few days, but it's all right. We're going to get this done anyway. Number one on the list of dislikes is going to be the price. The price of this truck is a little steep. And I mean, pretty much everything in the vehicle world nowadays is extremely expensive. This one right here, though, is not... I don't think it's that bad overly expensive. I think it's about $10,000 over what it should have cost. I think I paid $48,000 for this truck. I think that is what a Lariat should be priced at. This right here should be about $38,000, and that'd be a perfect price point. Now, talking about some of the other mid-sizes real quick, the Frontier, best bang for your buck. I'm just going to put that out right now. That was actually one of my trucks that was on my list of wants when I was coming in to getting a truck, a mid-size, but there was a few things that it fell short of on my list of needs, so of course I had to pass it up. But I mean, you can get those ridiculously cheap, and they have a really good engine in them. Have a really good engine. They look really good. They got a lot of other bells and whistles, but yeah, there's number one on my list. This truck's overpriced. Next up is a combo dislike. You get 2 for 1, and that is no zone lighting, also no button in the bed to turn the bed lights on. This truck used to have zone lighting when it first came out on the app. I don't know what happened. I don't know why it got discontinued or did away with on the app, but zone lighting was freaking awesome. I was really looking forward to that. I think it's cool that you can just turn lights on the outside of the vehicle when it's not on, so it lights up the ground and lights up the area when it's dark. And then there's no button back here for the LED lights. Should be a button right here. That would be a good spot for the button. Don't know why they didn't do that. All the other mid-size trucks have a button in the bed. Instead, you have to go up here, open the door, push this button right here every time you want those lights on. So that was something that was definitely overlooked and could have been made a lot easier. For the next dislike, we're going to be on the inside of the truck here. And that is that our locker is not pushable down here. It's not an actual button. You gotta go through the head unit and turn it on, or you gotta go through the modes to turn it on. That's a little bit of annoying. I wish that was down here, easy to push, because sometimes I would rather just put it into a locker instead of put it in full drive or turn one of the modes. So they should have put it down here and made it a little bit more accessible. Moving on to my next dislike, which is going to be in the back seat, and that is that the rear seat does not split. It is one full section or one full piece. The bottom is one full piece, and the top, which I can't even remember. Can't even remember how it goes down, but somewhat right here is one full piece, and really missed out on an opportunity to have this a split right here and have one side fold up, be able to leave one side down so you can store stuff on one side and have a spot open for someone to sit back here. Just a missed opportunity. Other mid-sizes are doing it, so I don't know what Ford was thinking when they didn't do that, but that's another, that's a small dislike, but a dislike nonetheless. All right, so here we are coming up to the 5th thing on the list of dislikes. Now, this is not going to be the last thing on the list of dislikes. I actually have a few extras, so stay tuned for that. Number 5 is going to be gas tank size. The gas tank size of this truck, absolutely ridiculous. It's way too small. It's an 18-gallon tank. It's actually the smallest in the mid-sizes. I feel like I'm filling this thing up all the time. I actually just filled it up yesterday. I'm already down to 259 miles till E. I didn't do that much yesterday. We went on a little trip, not anything crazy, but here we are, almost at a half a tank again. And it claims that when you fill this truck up, it gets 390 miles a tank. I don't know where they're getting that number at, because every time I fill it up, it is, actually, let me turn this off. Heard the truck turn off. Unacceptable. I don't know where they get those numbers at, because when I fill it up, I get around 320 miles till E every time. I don't know if they did the testing, barely getting on the gas and just putting around, but I get around 320 miles a tank. And like I said, it goes fast because the tank is small. And I mean, I don't get the best gas mileage. I drive around town a lot, so that's usually what I'm averaging, about 18 and a half, 19 miles per gallon. But yep, that's a big complaint of mine. Gas tank size, it sucks. Now we are moving to 2 extra dislikes that I've added to the list. So I've had this list for a while, and I just kept adding to it as things would come up. And these came up here recently. Number 1 is they don't have defrosting mirrors. Now you might think that's a luxury, and this truck shouldn't have that. I think a higher trimmed vehicle should have that. I'm gonna put this in perspective. I used to have a 1998 Dodge 1500. It wasn't anything special. I think it was the equivalent of like an XL, but it was, a Dodge. I can't remember. I don't know what their trims are. It used to have defrosted mirrors. That ruined me. That spoiled me. I remember you come outside, you hit it on the center console, you turn it on, and it'll defrost your mirrors. Now, you probably don't think that's a big thing in these newer vehicles because you got cameras on everything. I mean, I got a camera on each mirror in here, but it is when you're pulling a trailer. A work truck is an XLT. It's, decently loaded. It doesn't have that either. So I think it's just the Ford thing. That's a disappointment because, like I said, I had a truck that was 25-year-old that has it. So, yep. That sucks. No defrosted mirrors. Final dislike, the final extra dislike, and this is a small one. This could be fixed later on with like some kind of update, some kind of software update to the truck. But this right here is annoying. So I'm gonna get up to speed here, and I'm gonna set the cruise control. We're setting it at 45. We'll set it at 44. So every time you first set the cruise control on a drive, you get that notification, that chime every time. Now, I won't get it again if I set it again, I'm not gonna get it again, but every time I do an ignition cycle, and I push the cruise control, I'm gonna get those chimes. That's annoying. It says something about all your safety features are turned off, blah, blah, blah. There's no comprehensive cruise control or some crap like that. I turn all that safety crap off because I like to drive my truck. You probably hear a loud noise. That's going to be that over there. I'm returning a vent. It's being loud. It's not the truck. Anyway, though, I don't need to see those. I've drove vehicles a lot older than this that didn't have any safety features on it. Like, I don't need you to tell me that all the safety features are off. Because I know I turned it off. I'm the one who turned it off. That right there is something, like I said, it can be easily fixed with a software update, but annoying nonetheless. I mean, it comes on all the time. People's riding in the vehicle with me. Every time I hit the cruise control, it comes on. They kind of look over and like, is everything good? It's like, oh no, it's warning me about some crap that I don't really need to be warned about. But yeah, something that could easily be fixed. Ford, come on. It's annoying. Do away with it. I don't need it. All right, guys, so that pretty much brings the video down to its end. So I know I had more dislikes than likes, and I can hear people say right now that it sounds like you hate the vehicle more than you like it. I can probably make a list of 50, 60 likes. You don't want to hear that. You don't want me to sit here and point out every single thing I like about the truck. And I feel like in these videos, the dislikes are more important. I'm just going to point out the things I really like, and then the dislikes are like the only dislikes I have with the truck. So all the dislikes you got in this video, that's it. That's all the dislikes I have on this truck right now. I feel like the dislikes are more important than the likes because, I mean, there's a lot of times you get like Ford fanboys or you get like other manufacturer fanboys out here talking about how perfect the vehicle is. I don't think there's any vehicle out there that's perfect. There's so many different people out there that have different wants, needs, and stuff like that what's perfect for you might not be perfect for someone else. So I'm going to lay it out what I think was stupid with this truck when they were building it. And that right there, I think, is more important. Now, I've had comments on the video when I first got my truck saying like, did you know that the brake lights are not LED? And I mean, I think that's a hazard. There's like, I mean, I didn't know they're LED, but I could change those out. That's almost equivalent of going to a dealership and like not buying one vehicle because the other brand has 10 on it, has 10 on the windows. Like, that is the stupidest crap I've ever heard. Now, if there's something where you cannot change without spending thousands of dollars or just something that's not changeable, then that's one thing. That's something to look at. But yeah, I think the dislikes are more important. I wanted to share mine with y'all. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe. In the comment section below, let me know what y'all think of my dislikes, what y'all think of my likes. If you have a Ranger, let me know what y'all's dislikes and likes are. And I'll see you in the next video.